Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the Cricket Captain 2020 South Africa save. We are going into next series against the number 1 or number 2 ranked side in the world, Australia. Basically, this is the squad I'm going with. We've brought in DeKale, we've brought in a new guy called Cronje. We've also brought in, we've brought back, who else was there? Schultz is getting a debutant. He is a all-rounder who can bowl occasional off-spin. And pretty much it's sort of a similar team than what we have been running with. So we actually do win the toss in our first crack at Australia, as you probably say. But generally, we have been quite poor at winning the toss. As you can see there, Milan does go out for 4, which is a little bit of an annoyance, and Hamza shortly follows. Snyman does also fall again. So as you can see here, South Africa are 4 for 81. Cronje in his debut is on 30. Pretty much here, I wanted to go with a sort of a young squad. I wanted to blood a few young players, and this guy here, Cronje, who is on 56, he had really good first class form. I believe he might have been under 21, he could be 22, but he had fantastic form. He was averaging at least high 40s. And I thought, let's give him a go, and he has been quite good here. He's on 68. Hopefully he can push on for 100. Unfortunately, he does get out there to Hazelwood. Quid de Kock. Again, he is saving pretty much our innings. We were probably on the ropes there, and the little partnership with Cronje has certainly saved the innings a little bit there from what it was when it first started. He does get 100, but as with de Kock, as always, he unfortunately can't push on for a big score. And Kesab Maharaj goes out, and Wian Mulder hopefully can hold strike. But Australia have bowled really well in this first innings. Australia have got in a few new players to their side, such as I think it might be Nathan Ellis. I haven't personally heard of him, even though I am Australian, so I'm not sure if he's a regen player, where he's from exactly. I know Josh Felipe. I personally don't rate him. I think he shouldn't be even playing Test cricket, especially when you have Alex Carey. And they also have brought back Aaron Finch for some stupid reason. No disrespect to Finch, but in the third season, I believe he would be probably 33 or 34. I don't really understand why Australia would want to persist with 2 ageing openers. As you can see here, Finch does go for 28. Mulder, unfortunately, is going at 5 and over, but he does get Warner as well. That is 2 wickets. So we do have the opening partnership. We've got them both out. And Australia are 2 for 110 at T. Wian Mulder is a very hit or miss bowler, but I think he is the best all-rounder in South African cricket from what I have been experiencing in this save. As Ngidi does get Labuschagne. I'd be interested to see if any of you guys in the comments rate any of these other all-rounders that I've tried, or whether there's players that I haven't tried that are all-rounders, but I have pretty much, if you look back through all the 20 plus episodes, I have pretty much tried a handful of all-rounders. Mulder has been the most consistent, so I'm sticking with him at the moment. Unless, obviously, he has a massive drop in form and he just doesn't warrant selection. But as Maharaj does come in, and he will get Mitchell Marsh out, who is back in the test side. Not something that I would personally think Australia should do, but again, cricket captain does like to throw some strange curveballs, such as Josh Felipe playing. And I mean, good on Josh Felipe, but personally, I don't think he is a test cricketer. He is quite young. I think he's about 24, 25. But when you have Alex Carey in the wings, who should be pretty much primed to take over from Tim Payne when Tim Payne retires, really you should not be playing Josh Felipe unless Alex Carey is injured. Which he might be, but unfortunately cricket captain won't tell me because I can't see their squad because Australia picked their squad based on the, test by test, and I can only see their 11 once we start. I can't actually see their squad. And we do end the innings here. We do actually injure Josh Hazlewood, and I don't mean to say that in a negative way or in a good way, saying that he is hurt. But when you injure a bowler, it does certainly help or ease the load in terms of having to worry about, especially Josh Hazlewood. I'm also not sure why Patrick Cummings is not in this team. I would probably assume that he is injured, but again, I can't actually check unless I manually check if Pat Cummings is injured in statistics, like off screen. But which I personally don't like. I think I would like to see the ability to, when you play a side, you should be able to see who's currently injured from their last year's, like, even if it's not the whole squad, it could be just like your last year of your test matches. So we do think, I do like to think that they can add that one time in a future cricket captain or even as a free update, because there is still a lot of issues that have plagued the cricket captain series that really needed to be fixed. But unfortunately, I've noticed a lot hasn't been changed, such as the ability. I don't see why you can't review decisions. I don't see how hard it is to program that in. There's plenty of times when I have been given, say, out, and I don't think it's out at all, especially with an LBW. Even the wicket sometimes shows that it's missing. Or there's sometimes that I actually, get side players out who should be out, but they don't give them out. But yeah, I would like to see that one time in a cricket captain game. As I said, I don't think it is, considering they have a database with like all cricket players currently. I'd imagine that would be more hard work to have something that tedious that tracks every single statistic and all that than the ability to review decisions. I mean, I don't see why it hasn't been in the game, especially how big DRS is in real life. They haven't even tried to add DRS from what I've read on their notes about doing updates to the game. So that has been a little bit disappointing. But as we see here, as I am rambling on, Schultz is actually on he makes 47, but he does get a 95-run partnership with Wiarn Mulder, who, as I said, Wiarn Mulder is a decent batsman. He can hang around. See there, he brings up a 50. He knows how to hang around with the tail. The issue though is, because I bat him really low, he can't actually get big scores unless he does, unless one of the tails hang around with him. But 70 is a really good score for Wiarn Mulder. He actually top scores for us that innings. We actually set Australia a total of 337. So, as I said here, or as I said before, some of these totals where you do set a 300 plus run total going into the fifth day, you would imagine you should be able to negate it. But you see here, Australia do start the day at with 280 runs to get, so it's not impossible. And the wicket isn't really doing much for our bowlers. It's slightly turning. There's no uneven bounce. But we do get Labuschagne out. Hopefully that pushes on a bit more pressure. We need 8 more wickets. But Australia are looking like, with Steve Smith and David Warner in, that they're going to be extremely difficult to get out. Now, I actually continue to bowl Jacques Snyman here is because Kesab Maharaj was getting absolutely carded. As you can see there, he's going at 5 and over. And I don't know what it is, but Jacques Snyman as a part-time off-spinner is actually not a bad bowler. As you see there in Giddy, he's going at like 5 and over as well. You know, this partnership here, this is just looking bad for us. We are, as Z Snyman does come in, and he does get David Warner, because I changed that, didn't I, do low chances. As we see here, Jacques Snyman, does he get him? He does get Steve Smith out, so that is a very important wicket. Travis Head is now at the crease, and Australia need 140 odd runs, and we need 7 wickets with 2 sessions to go. So there should be a result in this test. Australia will not bat this out. It'll either be an Australian win or a draw. Or a win for us. I thought that was stumped, but nope, it wasn't. It looked very similar to the Steve Smith dismissal, so we do hope that we can get... Yeah, as I said here, we do continue to bowl Snyman is because he is our most economical bowler at this stage. So, considering he's going at just under basically 3 and over, there's really no reason I should be giving the ball back to Maharaj. But Australia do need 100 to win with 7 wickets, as Warner does bring up another 100. It's looking very unlikely that we are going to win this, which is extremely disappointing. But no, what can you do when you set a total of 330, and Australia have a real crack at it with basically 15 overs to go in the fourth day, 3rd session, and effectively get 50 odd runs in basically a half a session. It's looking very unlikely that you can successfully defend that total, especially if you do get on a roll with the batting, as you can see Australia have here. It's just looking very unlikely. They need 32 to win. We need 6 wickets. There's literally no way, unless we get a complete Australia collapse, that they aren't going to win this. That should be out and is. But if we can't get Head out, it's going to be very unlikely that we will win this. We take the new ball, but look at this. It's just, you can't do much. I've got my field set on full defensive and everything. Australia need 1 run to win, and they do get that. And that is the end of the first test, and I'll see you guys for the second test.